Well, so we'll be doing the newspapers. We'll be joined by Koji Yankson very soon. And, well, Mama, good morning.
Morning.
This, your blue is called what?
I don't know. I just know it's blue.
I don't know. This
You can call it whatever blue.
Looks so nice on TV.
Say my hair is nice.
Yeah, your hair too.
I got it from, so you can actually pull my hair off this morning.
Oh, like it's a cow?
Yeah. Don't.
No, I won't try.
It takes a while.
That's so
I got it from
gentlemanly.
Nash. You know, Nash did my earlier hair.
Yeah. They did the one you pulled off the
Exactly. And then she said, you know what? You can wear this, and then after 2 weeks, we'll do something else for you.
How much does this cost? I mean,
I didn't pay.
Is it affordable?
But Nash is, yes, she's nice. She'll give you discounts. Yeah.
Nice.
So you know, if you want a contact to Nash, the lady who does my hair, let me know. Just hit me up on WhatsApp or regular text, and I'm just going to forward her number right there.
You know, these we do courier services, so Charlie, no be problem, crap. Good morning to you, my lead designer.
No. Let's do the newspapers. Let's start off with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Graphic. President launches program against deforestation and desertification. So President Akufo-Addo, the picture that comes with the story is one of the presidents watering plants at the venue of the launch. Full story is in page 16 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Also, Ghana Teacher Prize introduced. President inaugurates first company and one district, one factory. 71 students duped. Expected confab suspected to be fake visas revoked. That story is on page 3. Is one that's I would like to share a bit. Story by Seth Bokbe in Accra said 71 students who paid various sums of money to secure visas and other travel documents to participate in a Model United Nations conference in New York had their dreams dashed at the last hour when the United States Embassy in Accra revoked their visas. The embassy is believed, it is believed, suspects that the organizers of the conference, United Ambassadors, are not genuine. So the students, some of whom were turned away at the Kotoka International Airport. Imagine you've told everybody that you're traveling, you get to the airport, you've bought a ticket, you have a valid ticket, and then they turn you away. So the embassy apparently sent them text messages or email to these students, essentially saying that they had revoked the earlier visa, and if they needed to get a second visa, then they had to come for a second time. So details of that and the amount of money that they paid. Somebody paid $2,300 for a ticket after paying $250. And in all, we're told that the student had paid $17,750,000. So is this genuine or not? What kind of action can these students take? You can read a lot more of the details in the paper.
It's a bit of a... Oh, hello, by the way. Good morning.
Oh, hi. Hi, good morning. Nice you got lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, a little bit. But it's great to see you both. And that is a worrying story. So you know how it works with immigration. Even after they give you the visa, they still have the right to withdraw it at any time.
You mean Ghana government or
no? Well,
Ghana,
almost every country.
We won't turn you away.
Even in Ghana, if we give you a visa, we can withdraw it at any time. But more importantly, in this particular case, what they did was they issued an alert to these students before the travel time. When they got to the Delta Airlines desk at Kotoka, they were stopped. But British Airways somehow didn't stop them here. It was when they got to the United Kingdom that the ground crew there, taking them through immigration to transit them, stopped them. Okay, so they had gone all the way to the UK.
That would be painful.
Yes. And then they had to come back. Well, of course, when they came back, they were given the chance to reapply and bring their original documents. It is at that point, at the second application, that they were told categorically by the Americans that the people who say they are at the UN who sent you these things, they don't exist there. We've checked, they don't exist. So they started emailing the organizers. The organizers responded, sent them emails back saying, oh, well, actually, we are not responsible for whether or not you get a visa. There are other factors involved in the assigning of visas by various countries.
After taking the money.
But that's the truth. They don't take the money to give you a visa. They are not the embassy. You know, it's the embassy's job to give you a visa if they believe you are going for the right reason. So, in essence, they disclaimed, you know, any role in the granting of visas, but then they tried to offer a possible reason why. And every time somebody does that, be suspicious. If somebody else does something, and a third party is trying to explain why that person did it, always wonder why. Because this third party now starts to suggest that, oh, maybe somebody presented fake documents claiming to be part of our program, and because the American embassy may have recognized fake documents, they want to double check yours to make sure they are real. Meanwhile, the reason why they turned them down is because the people don't exist at the UN.
They call the UN ambassadors or something like that. But this also brings to mind, recently a colleague got a letter that he had been nominated to receive a certain award and subsequently become an ambassador. And the title of that award, there was UN in there. I mean, to suggest that this had something to do with the United Nations, but that wasn't true. We just did a quick cross-check. Just Google it, and, you know, anything related to the UN would have a way of it will be linked to the main UN. Yeah, but there was nothing like that. And then I called and said, so my colleague wants to know, are you doing, because this was an event in the Ashanti region in Kumasi. I called to ask, are you doing tickets and then hotel? And then they said, oh, ticket as in for airfare we can try and do something, but hotel no. I was like, really, who nominates you? And they know that you live in Accra, and yeah. So, okay, so watch out for anything that is UN title. It may not necessarily be coming from the United Nations. Back page of the Daily Graphic real quick. Settle boarding grant arrears for schools in Upper East. CHAS appeals to government. So the Upper East Regional Branch of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools has appealed to the government to settle boarding grants arrears for second cycle institutions in the region. It said the arrears were the biggest among the challenges hampering academic work in the various boarding schools. Chairperson of CHAS, Francisca Yezura, the Upper East Regional Chairperson of CHAS, I'm talking about, made the appeal at a meeting with the outgoing Regional Minister, Roxin Bukari in Bolgatanga last Friday. There's a lot more to that. They talk about infrastructure and then support for free SHS. But this other story that made huge headlines yesterday with videos trending, Kandahar boys, in quotes, stormed Tamale Teaching Hospital, lock out CEO, chase out secretary, practically escorted the man out of his office, like, get out of here. And we're back. It brings back this issue in Kumasi.
The one that is on the court?
Exactly.
I mean, this is the second time I'm told they're storming the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
I mean, it's incredible. And you hear all these guys speaking on radio. I listened to one yesterday. I mean, it was interesting. And he said he was an engineering student. No, he said, they asked, so what do you have? Like, he said, I'm an engineer. Where did you graduate from? He said, the Tamale Polytechnic. And he said, you think that you have the capacity to decide that a CEO of a hospital is not running the facility well, so you go there like in your capacity to go and drag the person out? Like, really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It speaks volumes about what the law enforcement agencies can do and what the commitment of government also can do, because we should know some of these groups are linked to the MPP, and sometimes you have people from the MPP come to speak for them. Anyway.
You know, so this other angle didn't come out, sorry, but the paper says some members of the group manhandled this reporter, Mohammed Fugu in Tamale, and other journalists who were at the scene and seized their mobile phones for about 45 minutes.
I blame the first coup makers. They kind of twisted our psychology as Ghanaians. And I think we started to think if you win an election, you've won a coup. Or you've staged a coup, basically. And so, you know, everything in sight belongs to you and the people you support. That is the mentality.
But isn't that mode different? We went to the polls.
Yes, that's the point I'm
making.
We
put a piece of paper in the box.
That's the point I'm making. That in spite of the fact that we are practicing a democratic system of governance, people still think it's a coup d'etat system of government. So if your party wins, you think you've won ownership of state property.
Everything belongs to you.
So you can actually get up and leave your house. And for the duration of your journey,
Charlie,
you are thinking that
you?
I am going to exercise my right.
How dare you?
To go and remove someone
like
who is running an institution. That's my, I don't know, does my party own it or what? What are the thinking processes throughout your trotro journey to go and meet with your friends at the Sakura Park, where you then decide to march together to the facility? So at what stage are you not struck by a bolt of lightning that I'm an idiot? Why does this never happen? Until you finish the whole process.
In my community, they seize a public toilet. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, it was even not inaugurated.
But
I
this doesn't make sense.
They wrote MPP
and I think the more you think about it, the angrier you become. It doesn't make sense. Somebody has to stop this. Like, this must stop.
The person who can stop this, or
the
people who could stop this, are those in government. They have to stand up and say, look, you are members. What you are doing.
Listen, I tell you what, I think we shouldn't even get there. The security agencies must act. They say they haven't seen the videos.
No. They obviously can't act.
There's
They could have acted
trending video. Fred, please pull the video. At some point, let's play. They said they haven't seen it. Yesterday, I listened to various people speak on radio. They haven't seen it. They've only probably heard. They went to the office. The CEO wasn't there, but they haven't gotten in touch with him. So, you know. Yeah.
Good morning to National Police Headquarters. Please watch this.
All right. Okay, let me just quickly go through these headlines. Then
we don't have the video yet.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll come to you.
All right,
the statement says the government tackles police accommodation, 10,000 housing units to be built for them. Massive afforestation project, I'm sure you will tackle this. President commissioned car part factory under one district, one factory. That's a good thing about it. And we're told that they do spare parts and all that. And then we have Daily Dispatch newspaper. We have reshuffle analysis too. No pay for military and police personnel without Ghana card. Kusibuafo. FDA warns about expired. They call it Laved, a feminine hygiene wash. Okay.
Saw it over the weekend.
You bought one?
No, I don't even know how it looks like. I can't appreciate
the
picture. I saw the story.
I thought you mean that you saw the love of it. I said no problem.
Just use water. Normal water. Yeah.
To wash the.
You don't need any sophisticated.
Anything.
Nothing. It's just water. Water does the magic.
In your day, did you do life skills in school? Because
in fact, there are several warnings that if you use soap chemicals, what you are doing is you are disturbing the ecology of that place. Look, it is a living, breathing organism. And there's bacteria, good bacteria, and so forth that you require in order to keep.
Place?
Oh,
you seem to have a lot of experience.
I don't. But you are telling me you saw something over the weekend. You are talking about him.
We're talking about the same. Okay.
Yeah.
So wait. Let's get something clear.
Let's go to the Ghanaian
We're talking about this headline on the front page of the Daily Dispatch that says, FDA warns about expired. How did it?
Laved feminine
hygiene wash.
Yes. So we're talking about feminine hygiene.
We're talking about feminine hygiene.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
This headline is wrong.
If I talk about it, that's kind of like cool. But Kojo is explaining. That's why I said Kojo
why is that not cool? We should encourage more men to take an interest in this.
Yeah. I have great interest, I'm telling you.
Men have daughters. You know, there are men who are raising their daughters on their own. It's important to know this sort of thing. Yeah.
You're smart.
And if you have a female partner who is going above and beyond, to keep things clean.
You have a daughter.
Just because they believe that it is also part of her husband's balanced diet. Then it's important for you to just let the ladies know. Yes.
I think the other thing that encourages a lot of young women and girls to do it, because they say, you guys, you want the place tight.
Who?
Men.
Not me.
So they're tightening up the place for men. Yeah, that's why they use the feminine wash.
No. I understand.
So people introduce different things.
They want the place to smell like lavender.
If you have only
the place tight.
If you have only 1 liter of water, and they give you a 2-liter glass,
you use lavender.
Yeah, so you prefer a 1 liter glass. I understand some men. I understand some men. Roland, you don't have that.
No, I don't have that problem.
Good.
Okay, so let's do.
It's all in your mind. It's in your mind.
Is next. And let's see what's going on. I forgot my glasses in the car today. So
are you sure you can
get a
see?
headache. Yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Greed, corruption led to collapse of 5 banks according to the chairman of the Christian Council. And by the way, good morning to Robert and Sons. You know what to do. All right, and Veep cuts sod for construction of $45 million housing project for the police. Also, 20,000 jobs for the youth as president launches youth in afforestation program. That's the story you were alluding to earlier. And of course, Kandahar boys chase out Tamale Teaching Hospital CEO. We've mentioned that, haven't we? More headlines? Yeah? Or shall I go straight into the stories?
Yes, please.
More headlines.
Okay, go straight into the story.
Oh, straight in. All right, then. I think I want to talk about the story on page 18, where Right Reverend Dr. Agidi, chairman of the Christian Council, says that greed and corruption is what led to the collapse of the 5 banks. You know, it's kind of like when you read these surveys where they say, oh, a scientific survey has determined that men with 2 legs can walk faster than a man with 1 leg. You know, those very obvious declarations. Yes. So this is what we're learning on page 18, that greed and corruption led to the collapse of the banks. The recent collapse is yet another evidence of greed and the widespread lack of trust among public office holders, according to the chairman of the Christian Council. And this is a direct quote from him. He says, when we toil hard to send our monies to them, they share our deposits as loans for their personal businesses. Yeah, okay. So Reverend Dr. Agidi there, who was preaching a sermon at the induction service for the newly elected General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Cyril Gershon.
Is that what he said? I stand with him.
You stand with him, eh? Oh, this is the man of God you want to stand with. Okay.
I stand with all the men of God. Okay. I stand with this one too.
All right. Well, by the way, in an unrelated matter, Pastor Otabil, Pastor Mensa Otabil has said, I say it's unrelated. Leave me alone.
Okay, so when we get to myjoyonline.com, we're going to pull
talk about that.
Yes. Release. But, Otabil speaks on Capital Bank collapse.
Yeah.
Watch out for that.
But you know, when the Christian Council speaks, I understand why they speak on these issues, you know, national issues, because we are such a deeply religious country. So the opinion of the Christian Council matters, and when they say something, it tends to become a conversation point for Ghanaians, particularly Christians. So I understand why they speak, but I also worry about the reason why it is even necessary for them to speak, and it is necessary. Okay, but the reason why it's necessary is because we are so deeply religious, because we color everything with religion, because if the man of God hasn't said it, it's not true, and when the man of God says it, no matter what it is, it's true.
I stand with you.
You know, that bothers me. It bothers me because we need to grow and develop beyond that.
I stand with you.
Linear thinking. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day, right? All right then.
Who wants it? This is
it's not small.
Sunday, Sunday.
Oh boy.
Maybe the thing they were sharing on the walls, the official pages, were all targeted towards it.
You should have seen. And by the way, it started on Friday. You should have seen the number of calls I got about that text we shared on Thursday regarding tithe.
Yeah?
We need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
We need to have that conversation when we get the opportunity, you know.
Incidentally, Sunday, it was a main talking point.
You got some queries too?
Yeah, after church.
Was the pastor looking at you?
No, looking at me, but some friends of mine.
Bad influence.
Yeah, they cornered me somewhere because I was trying to run away to
you guys talking all.
Cornered me somewhere.
But we have to talk about it.
It brought in Malachi. So we beefed up your quote from Deuteronomy with Malachi, and we went all that.
We need to talk about Malachi. That's the one that every pastor quotes. I asked my pastor, why is it that you've told me about Malachi but not Deuteronomy? Why have you never told me about Deuteronomy?
What did he say?
He said, look, my son, there is an interpretation for it. I said, Pastor, this one was English. They say eat it. They say I should come here and eat it.
Onesie.
What interpretation do you put on this?
Abba interpretation.
So you pay your tithe every 3 years, I guess?
Me? Oh, no. It doesn't matter whether you pay it every month or every year or every 3 years. Because you see, the idea is you should take 10% of what you earn, go to church and eat it. That's it.
We're
so
not
if,
going about this again.
If you are paid monthly,
do you buy cake and take it to church and eat it?
I haven't done it yet because I'm yet to find a church that will allow me.
You mean you haven't paid tithe yet?
To pay tithe the way the Bible says I should pay it. And the day I find that church, my God, I'll become catechist. But we have to have that conversation one day, right? Okay. I also have the daily guide. And the front page has these headlines. Woyome refunds 4.6 million Ghana cedis. Nana opens one district, one factory in Kumasi. And Ibrahim Mahama rattled over 300 million Ghana cedi UT debt. Also, Jifa Ativo joins Volta NDC race. Well, you know, I think I'll quickly touch on Ibrahim Mahama's story because, you know, yesterday in the Daily Graphic, there was a story about the Jatta factory, where some media men and women were invited, and an explanation was given to them by the management of the factory. They said, we are not in default. The explanation they gave was, well, the project is not complete. We are supposed to pay back this loan from the proceeds of the project. So once we get those proceeds, we will then pay back our loan.
They didn't have any time frames within which the factory was supposed to be ready.
First of all, I am very confused by what the explanation that we took a loan from a bank and the bank agreed that you go and use the money. Then at some date in the future, when you finish building your factory and you start selling, then you start paying us back. I've never come across such an arrangement before. That was a good deal.
It means you don't negotiate well.
I've never come across such a deal with the bank.
You're a bad negotiator.
I don't quite understand how the bank will make profit on that deal. Go, take the money, 300 million, go and build. When you finish build, and by the way, they didn't only lend to Jatta, they lent to other companies in the engineers and planners group, if you will. Go and build. When you finish, start building, selling cement. We don't know how much cement you sell.
So next time when you go on the market, you're going to borrow, open your eyes, shine your eyes, and negotiate well.
More importantly,
good deals are there.
More importantly, when you take a loan, you pay monthly. Have they been paying monthly? Have they been paying monthly? So when they called all those media men there, did we ask them that question?
Have we seen the deal? Have we seen documentations on the deal that they got?
Bank of Ghana has seen it, and they say.
But have we seen it?
Okay, so you don't believe Bank of Ghana either. You believe Jatta Cement.
Nana answer before UK.
I'm just saying that.
I congratulate Dr. Addison for bringing sanity to the banking sector of Ghana. Barely with 30 million population and close to 40 million banks. However, even in England, you can't just establish a bank. People deceive the poor to be rich. Meanwhile, all the riches is always from the poor who deposit their little at our local banks and it finds its way to the so-called rich. Change is good. Nana answer before UK. Good morning. I said, Dr. Addison, you are doing well.
Why are you born?
Both rough. I stand with you.
Speaking of that, look, Business Financial Times says auditors of collapsed banks must be investigated. And I think
isn't that ongoing? Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it. I know that the regulating body wants to investigate them, but they will only be able to sanction individual auditors, not auditing firms. So they will probably have to do a bit more to make their bite more felt. Also, banks in frantic merger talks. But we expected that even from the minimum capitalization thing.
400 million.
Yeah. But some of them are falling out. Bank of Baroda, for example, is no more going to be in the system.
Yeah, 27 defunct state-owned institutions to be deleted from government books. State-owned enterprises, sorry. To be deleted from government books. Deleted. 7 more to be traced. Why, are they lost? Yes, read the story. Business and Financial Times.
Okay, let's have you done this paper?
No, I have not. Let me just go through. Security and Exchange Commission, clean sector.
Hang on. This is the Finder newspaper. Starts well.
Okay, the Finder, because you mentioned the Finder.
Are you brand ambassador for?
You did.
Finder.
I'm in love with the Finder.
She is the brand ambassador.
Okay.
So the Finder. I'm reading the headlines. Nissan Central Business Class all round. Okay, the Finder has Security Exchange Commission, clean sector, stops fund managers from illegal investments, whatever that means. 5,479 pilgrims to perform Hajj, Dr. Ahmed. Iyoko to probe director shareholders of collapsed banks. We'll share the statement from Dr. Otabel too. He says that he's been going up and down the offices of Iyoko, etc. So we should give him the time to go through that. Government employs 20,000 in afforestation program. President Dr. Baumia cut sword for 320 police housing. Those will be the stories. Front page to find that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, all right. Let's share a few of your messages. Somebody sends me a message, but it's a bit long. We'll have to take time and do it. This one says, I wish my 10-year-old child doesn't go through the double track system. I also suggest that all MPs, MMDCs, etc. should let their children attend this double track system. Their children should not attend private school or schools outside the country. Kubio Donatus in was sending this message. This other one says... okay, so he said we have not learned from the Delta Force issue in Kumasi, which happened at the doorstep of the regional police headquarters. The Kandahar boys were motivated because no stiffer punishment was meted out to the Delta Force. These are the genesis of terrorist groups. They can, I guess, one day overthrow governments. Kelly in Tema, Kelly says... I need some legal explanation on this issue. I bought a recharge card stashed with 5 CDs and used on my phone, but was told it has been used. I followed up to all the necessary places I need to, especially to the Vodafone office in this case, was told there's nothing that can be done and that it's something they're having a challenge with without giving back my 5 CD or refund me back. Please, let me have Kojo's number to help me. Kelly in Tama, you think Kojo can help you with this? Okay.
Well, I think you need to speak. you need legal advice. That's the truth. That's the truth. And look, I don't downplay the fact that it's 5 CDs. Okay, it's the principle here. Yeah. Okay, because when you buy that recharge card, you are signing a contract with the provider.
It's happened to me before. I think they should be able to sort it out.
But if the provider is admitting that it is a challenge that they have,
mine was empty.
That means they have taken responsibility for it. Wow. If the provider says this is a challenge we are having, then they have taken responsibility for it.
So I'm going to give your number to him.
You need to follow it. Oh no, I mean what you need is a lawyer.
Just answered all your problems.
This one says
all your problems answered.
But listen, call the call center.
Yeah.
Call the call center.
100.
This one says it's so pathetic for the CEO to be chased out of the hospital like a dog. But the challenge of the youth should also be heard by properly auditing the CEO to capture the mess cause. Abdul Momen Wonam from Tamale. Let's do myjoyonline.com.
Right, okay, so, lots of stories. Wyoming has property to settle the rest
money we haven't
of the 51 million CD debt, according to a hint from the Attorney General.
Where are we reached now?
She spoke on Newsnight yesterday.
Yes, yes. But
how much have we collected?
So she said yesterday that, I think it's 4.5, but less than 5 million.
Right.
So they've identified certain properties that Mr. Woyome
and it is sufficient to clear the debt.
Interest in
it. This life is good though.
But I mean, it's all the legal process, right?
So
yeah, I mean, especially if you can beat the criminal charges and then spend a number of years fighting with government over whether or not you can pay back.
We have some 10 million stashed away in Dubai somewhere. We are not bad. Kali, let's move on.
Anyway, here's someone else who has been in financial headlines recently. Breaking, Otabel speaks on Capital Bank collapse.
Okay, so a little bit of what Mr. Otabel has said. Founder and General Overseer of the International Central Gospel Church, Dr. Mensa Otabel has broken his silence on the controversies in the banking sector, especially his role in the collapse of the Capital Bank as board chairman of the defunct bank. He has explained in a statement issued Tuesday that during his non-executive role as a board chairman of the bank, some decisions that were made turned out well, while some did not turn out as well as had been anticipated. Let me just fast forward and read that statement to you. Okay. So 1, I have observed with concern the ongoing media discussions regarding development in the banking sector and my role either directly or indirectly. 2, I accepted to be board chairman of the Capital Bank in a bid to help strengthen a promising Ghanaian enterprise that had potential but also challenges. I was excited about the prospect of a young man from a disadvantaged background who was daring to create opportunities and employment. 3, my position was a non-executive role. I was therefore not involved in the day-to-day management and operations of the bank. 4, in the course of time, some decisions made turn out well, while some did not turn out as well as had been anticipated. As far as I can tell, everything was done with the best of intentions and the interests of various stakeholders in mind. 5, The foremost concern, as has been the case over the past year, is for the well-being of those who lost their jobs and those who may have been adversely affected in any way as a result of these developments. My heart goes out to them and to their dependents. I continue to pray for God's guidance and sustenance as they navigate the course of their lives. 6. Since the takeover of the bank exactly a year ago today, various mandated state institutions have been investigating and working to arrive at a comprehensive understanding of what happened, why it happened, and who was responsible for what. I have been invited by IOCO, and I have submitted myself to the processes and answered all these questions faithfully. 7. For some time now, many discussion platforms have made varied references to me and my perceived role. Some have reached out to me for clarifications regarding issues that have been raised. I have preferred not to respond in the public domain, not as an admission of guilt, but out of respect for the due process and the ongoing investigations. 8. Notwithstanding some unforeseen outcomes, I remain resolute in my belief in the Ghanaian and African entrepreneurial spirit. I will therefore continue to lend my support and mentorship to inspire others who dare to dream and work towards the promise of Africa's growth and transformation. I guess this is the last point. Meanwhile, as a believer in the rule of law, I will continue to cooperate with the mandated institutions of states as they complete their investigations. I'm confident that in the process, the national interest and the rights of all parties involved will be protected. Shalom, peace, and life to you. And this is signed Pastor Mensa Otabil, 14th August 2018.
I stand with you.
Do we have 30 seconds for me to highlight two things here?
No, response is not.
The first one is that Dr. Mensa Otabil, at 2 points in the statement, indicates that perhaps things happened he didn't know about. First, he says he was in the capacity of an executive director and didn't manage day-to-day what happens at the bank. Second thing he said was, as far as he's aware, everything was done with the best intentions. Okay, so he's admitting that there may have been things he wasn't aware of.
No.
And he also states that...
We will leave the rest. We will leave the rest, I guess.
Let me just round this up.
Our time is up.
Oh, dear. Right.
We have to play the thing.
Which thing?
Tamale.
They said our time is up.
Yeah, but we use it to wrap up.
Okay, so we have to go. There's somebody, it related to what we've been talking about. There's a book that's been launched. There's a public lecture and a book launch at the National Banking College. It's a man who actually worked with the two banks, the UT and Capital Bank. So there's an anniversary today. We'll have a conversation on the back of that. That's it. We'll see you soon.